Sup fans, what you're about to watch is my supercut of basically my 70th anniversary reviews of the Godzilla franchise. So yeah, we talk about the first three eras, Showa, Heisei, Millennium, and of course we talk about Reiwa and the Monsterverse, and we also talk about the 1998 remake. So yeah, no, I just cut it in for you guys, all these videos. So yeah, this is a montage, so I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys, well, next time. Hope you guys have a good one. Enjoy, guys. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a nice franchise review. Well, I'm gonna mostly covering one era of this franchise, and well, we're celebrating 70 years of Godzilla, boy. And today we're gonna be quickly covering the Showa era. Yeah, all 15 films. So I'm gonna try to do this as quick as I can. I don't want to drag on and talk too much of each individual film too much, because then again, if I were to talk about how much I love these movies, we're gonna be here for hours and hours and hours. And you know what? One day I'm pretty sure I'm gonna cover these films in a more greater depth. Hopefully, I don't have to face any copyright issues with the video essay. But yeah, I forgot to swallow right there. So yeah, we'll be quickly covering today. We'll be quickly covering the Showa era films from 1954 to 1975 coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, guys, quiet on set. Scene one, take one. Action. Boom. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications because, well, it helps the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. Now, I would kindly appreciate if you guys do hit that subscribe button because I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so let's go, guys. I also have the Showa era box set here because just in case I don't lose track of like me talking about each individual film, and hopefully I'm not missing any movies and all that stuff, because there's a lot for me to talk about, but yeah, but I want to keep it short, simple. Hopefully I can keep each and every video like a bite-sized review, not too in depth, more like fun and all that stuff. So more like a fun video for you guys. So let's do this. And I've already talked about the original film, so yeah. Alright, so speaking of which, the original 1954 classic Godzilla, the legend of Odo Island, rises up from the ocean depths and attacks Tokyo, and it's up for our main characters to stop him. Yeah, so that's my plot synopsis. No, so yeah, I've already covered this film already. So yeah, this movie's a classic. I love the anti-nuclear message and the way this film was so beautifully shot. Godzilla looks scary and imposing, and I would say the practical effects are phenomenal as hell. So yeah, I don't care if it's a guy in a rubber suit, it looks great. The human characters, man, they're really good. The performances are really freaking nice. And yeah, I just love the ending, how it's just like, even though like Godzilla's gone, it's still in a way a realistic and yet sad ending. So yeah, Godzilla raids again. Well, in a way, basically with all these nuclear tests and all that stuff, another Godzilla comes back, but this time he's fighting Anguirus. So now Japan has got two problems now. So yeah, I actually kind of like this one. Actually, it's pretty underrated in my opinion, because although the practical effects are kind of a step down, and sometimes in the human characters, I like the human characters, but they're not as interesting as the previous characters. I love to give credit for this film for basically showing us for the first time ever basically Godzilla's first enemy to fight, which is Anguirus. I love Anguirus. I like that this is the first Godzilla film to show us a kaiju fight like that, and that is just so cool. And I actually quite like the fighting here. This is me. I actually quite like the fighting in this movie because they actually fight like actual animals, like that I see in the nature channels and all that stuff. Back in the day, Godzilla and Anguirus fight like actual animals, and I appreciate that a lot. And the ending where they freeze Godzilla, which is really cool. Instead of killing him, they freeze him up, and of course for the sequel, King Kong vs. Godzilla. That I think that's pretty neat. I actually quite like it, even though my issue with this movie is that the characters, they're very much a lot to be desired. Then again, they get moments to shine. I really like our main characters in a lot of areas, but this movie is it's a little slow paced a bit, even though this movie is very short. So yeah, but overall, I still enjoy Godzilla Raids again. King Kong versus Godzilla. Godzilla breaks free from his an icy tomb, but we get this pharmaceutical, Mr. Taco. He wants King Kong as well as their mascot, so they go to Faroe Island to get King Kong, and they find King Kong, and now he gets sedated with the berry juice, and they bring him to Tokyo. But unfortunately, Godzilla's on his way back to Tokyo, and now it's Kong and Godzilla they're in a collision course to fight each other. I love this movie. This is actually like golden era Godzilla, or just kaiju in general, man. Even though the King Kong suit is very, very, very bad. I still, in a way, find it charming still. It's this, I'd say King Kong has a lot of personality, especially when that motherfucker gets drunk as fuck out that berry juice. And I love Godzilla design. He is adorable and cartoony, but he still looks menacing in many ways, and he has so much expressions on all that stuff. I love that a lot. And the final fight in Mount Fuji, oh, it is so cool. I wish that they actually fought on Tokyo, but you know, yeah, we'll leave that to Kong for destroying that. And also, it's kind of a remake to the original King Kong. And yeah, and before I wrap up this section, this is the first time we see these two titans of Hollywood, or of cinema, in widescreen and in color. So that is really cool. Mothra versus Godzilla. So Mothra's eggs just wash up on shore, and this greedy company is basically, they buy it off, and they try to capitalize on all that stuff, but Godzilla is back, and they're trying to, but then again, the Infinite Island's still mad for not returning the egg, but they try to like talk to them about getting help from Mothra to defeat Godzilla, and this whole theme of nature and all that stuff that is really cool in my opinion. It comes in and plays a big theme in the fight. I actually, man, again, another home run right here, man. I actually love the human cast here. Akira Takarada comes back. Damn, that guy got a lot of charisma on screen. I love it a lot. The villains are funny, but they can be menacing at the same time. But the henchman guy, he's pretty funny. Godzilla's design, I actually quite like Godzilla's design. He's mean, he's pissed off and all that stuff after getting his ass beat by King Kong in the previous one. But yeah, he's mean and all that stuff. I like his entrance rising out of the ground, which is really nice. Mothra, from the original Mothra movie and this one, this is my favorite Mothra design, and the final fight between her and Godzilla, that is so cool, man. I really like that a lot. Even though, like, how is he gonna fight a giant mob? Well, they show you how he would fight one, and it's so cool, man. I love the fight with him and Mothra, and the fight with her babies and Godzilla, and they kicked his ass at the end. Hey, that's pretty cool, actually. I like that. This is still when Godzilla was still a bad guy. Yeah, great characters, great kaiju action, and yeah, I really dug this one. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Whoa, Ghidorah lands in space and he rises up and all that stuff, causing mayhem. But then again, Godzilla is also back, and Rodan is back, and they fight. But Mothra interferes, and they all had to work together to stop Ghidorah, because one kaiju cannot take him down, because he's a powerful dude. Man, this movie, again, golden era kaiju, man. They're on, again, another home run here. This is like a grand slam, I think, at this point, or way beyond that. Ghidorah is amazing, man. His wingspan just fills up the entire screen, and I love that so much. And this is when, yeah, Godzilla starts transitioning to become a good guy, like a hero. And the fights with him and Rodan, they're awesome, man. They're funny as hell, too. And Mothra's pretty cool here. And the final fight at the end, man, classic kaiju fight. I love it a lot. And I just like that, in a way, the stakes are raised, because, this alien Ghidorah, he can destroy the planet. So, yeah. And the human characters, I quite enjoy them a lot, especially the princess character. Invasion of Astro Monster, or according to the Japanese translation, is the Great Monster War, which that's a cool title, actually. Aliens ask for the humans for help, so they borrow Godzilla and Rodan because, well, Ghidorah is attacking their base. And so we have that awesome, I think, first and only fight we get in space with Godzilla and King Ghidorah and Rodan. So they borrow Godzilla and Rodan, and so they have a cool fight. But then later on, the aliens, of course, they were behind it the whole time. So they take control of Godzilla and Rodan. And there's also the humans that go up against the aliens, and even Ghidorah, they're causing mayhem. So there's three monsters already attacking everything. Well, of course, they figured a way to break Godzilla and Rodan free, and even Ghidorah free from control. And now it's just a big fight between the three of them. Well, it's 2 against 1. Godzilla and Rodan against Ghidorah. And again, I love this one. Nick Adams is in this, and he's just great, really freaking great. This is a movie where I always like to go back and forth with the English dub and the Japanese. Even though I prefer watching it in Japanese, I would love to see one day. Hopefully, I get to see one day with maybe just like a version. The Japanese, like, people are like, the Japanese actors are speaking Japanese and Nick Adams is speaking in English. So I don't know. I like to see that. I mean, maybe it won't make really a whole lot of sense, but I really, I would like to see that. Man, the special effects are phenomenal, man. This movie, like, it takes a while to build a bit, but once it gets going, holy shit, man, it becomes a big special effects spectacle, and it just doesn't stop. I love it a lot. There's a lot going on screen. I love that a lot, and that leads to the final fight between Godzilla and Rodan versus King Ghidorah. I freaking love that a lot, man. I love this movie, man. This is such a good movie. The score, again, Akira Kifube's score is phenomenal here. Oh my god, it is so good. Ebira Horror the Deep. So a bunch of funny-ass human characters going straight to this island when they find out a bunch of people from Infinite Island are enslaved by this, you know, nasty-ass corporate, nasty-ass people here. And, well, when people try to escape, well, they spray this yellow berry or fruit mist around so they can, you know, drive away Ebira, the giant lobster, and well, people try to escape, they get eaten, all that stuff. Well, Godzilla and Mothra, she helps out a way. Godzilla, well, he's waking up by the humans, and him and Ebira have a fight. It's one of my least favorites from the Godzilla franchise, one of my least favorites, but I still enjoy this one, actually, I gotta say. It does take a while, though, but then again, I kind of find the characters kind of fun and, you know, amusing and all that stuff, but it does take a while for Godzilla to get going, even though I heard, it's been documented that's originally supposed to be King Kong here, but, you know, yeah, well, what film that would have been, but yeah. But when Godzilla shows up, it gets really fun. It gets really cool. He looks like the Cookie Monster, according to James Rolfe. And yeah, I agree. He looks like the Cookie Monster. And that fight with him and freaking Ebira, man, at the end, it is cool. Even Ebira, I would say he does put up a fight. He does put up a good fight with Godzilla, but still, you know, he gets his ass beat. And sometimes when I watch this movie, I crave for lobster, man. I love lobster, so goddamn. But yeah, no, having a delicious giant lobster as a kaiju, that is actually a fun idea. And it's a fun fight. But then again, around this, even though I enjoy the human characters, it's pretty much the weakest part of the film. So yeah. But I overall still enjoy this one. Actually, I don't think I have a Godzilla, maybe. Well, right now, I can't think of a Godzilla movie that I dislike. Actually, maybe one. But yeah, that's a video for another time. Son of Godzilla. Well, Minya or Manila I think it depends on the dub, or it just depends on the translation that you hear from. Well, this character is introduced, and Godzilla's got to raise this little dude and all that stuff, and well, trying to teach him how to fight and defend him against Kumonga and Kamacuras and all that stuff. So Kumonga's a giant spider, and Kamakura's a bunch of praying mantis. So yeah, basically Godzilla's in a way kind of basically it's more Minya's movie, actually, just, you know, kind of a coming of age movie. But yeah, overall, actually, this is a cute family movie, I gotta say. I don't dislike this movie, even though I think, then again, yeah, I would say this is my least favorite. Well, one of my least favorites, but I still like these movies. I still enjoy this one. I think it's a cute, fun kids or family movie to enjoy. Even the ending is pretty much, you know, very sad. In a way, no, not sad, but it's just very heartwarming that I sometimes get a little teared up, because it's just Godzilla's, you know, he's deep down, he's a good dad, even though like he can get kind of abusive, stepping on Minya's tail just to breathe atomic breath. But yeah, no, but Minya, he's a fun character, even though his design is kind of ugly, or not ugly, just goofy looking in my opinion. But Minya is still a fun character. I still enjoyed Minya. He's very adorable in some areas, even though very adorable in many ways. But even though he can get on my nerves sometimes, he really throws a tantrum, and it's annoying. But yeah, the human characters they're fine. They're totally fine. This movie is actually a pretty fine family movie, I gotta say, at the end of the day. And the final fight between Kumonga and all that stuff, and the Kamacuras, the fights with Kamacuras, that is pretty cool. I like that a lot. And the score is goofy and funny. But then again, there's a huge thing there's a negative that I don't like, is, this is probably my least favorite Godzilla suit, probably. Because goddamn, he looks, like a lot of people say he looks like a tadpole. Yeah, he looks goofy looking, man. Like very goofy looking. Like some dude it's like some dude punched him in the face so much that his face went in. That's very mean of me to say. But yeah, I overall enjoy this one. Destroy all monsters. Basically, it is the Avengers Endgame of the Godzilla franchise and all that stuff. So these aliens take over the world, and Ghidorah, of course, Ghidorah is here. And Godzilla, they control but then again, before this, they are controlling each and every kaiju, but then of course the humans find a way to break them free and all that stuff, and well, Ghidorah is also there to destroy everything, and Godzilla Mothra, Rodan, Anguirus, Gorosaurus, Kumonga. I might have missed a few here and there. I think Baragon is in it, man. Baragon is in it. Minia's in it too. So yeah, it's a it's a lot of kaijus here. But you know what? That is awesome. That when they all team up to defeat Ghidorah and kill Ghidorah, finally, it is fucking phenomenal. Yeah, this movie takes a while to get going when it comes to kaiju action because you really focus on the human characters a lot. But when there's kaijus in action, when there's monsters in action on screen, damn, it pays off so much. The miniatures effects, they look great. This giant spectacle is so good. And the final fight, it is something. It's a beauty to behold, man. I love it. And Godzilla, I love this Godzilla suit, actually. I love this Godzilla. His design is so cool. And oh my god, yeah, I really dig this one a lot, man. It's fun. And it does. And I feel it takes place in the future too, I think in 1999, I think. So this movie is canonical wise, like storyline wise, this is like, if you're gonna watch this in chronological order, this is the one you watch the last, and this feels like a damn true good finale. But yeah, overall, man, I really dig this movie a lot, man. It does take a while to get going, but once all the action comes together, it is just awesome. I really love this movie. All Monsters Attack, aka Godzilla's Revenge. So this kid is just daydreaming on hanging out with Minia and all that stuff, and I believe a group of thugs or yakuza, I think, they kidnap him because he's that dude. This kid is like roaming and getting involved in things that he shouldn't get involved, but still, and also he's fighting a bully and all that stuff. So yeah, but then again, his parents are not much in his life and all that stuff. So yeah, this kid is, I gotta say, he kind of has a messed up childhood, kind of in a way, but he has a guardian that takes care of him and all that stuff. But yeah, he's this kid is imagining things with Godzilla and Minia. Minia talked in this one, and Gabra's there to, like, as a metaphor as the bully. So yeah, this movie is like a greatest hits of Godzilla. So they recycle a lot of stuff from Ebida, Son of Godzilla, like all these family friendly movies, and you know what? Yeah, it is another one that's low on my list. Like, of all the Godzilla movies in the franchise, it is low on my list. But I kind of still enjoy it because I kind of do like some of the stuff here. The message, it's a mixed bag. As much as I am all for standing up for yourself, sometimes, you know what, it's not really worth it. But yeah, but then again, I also like this whole like hidden thing with like the parents not getting involved with their kids a lot, or they like this child feels a bit neglected, which, yeah, you know, kind of dark in a way. But yeah, it is very lazy stock footage and all that stuff, and they try to edit it as it's part of the story, which, you know, whatever. But I don't think it's that offensive to me. But then again, it is very lazy. But the new footage with Gabra, that is cool. The final fight with Team Gabra, Godzilla and Minia, that is a fun fight. It really is. It really is a fun fight. And the whole side plot with the Yakuza and all that stuff. And also, yeah, with the it actually parallels the kid's imagination and the actual action. I like that it does parallel that. But yeah, it really kind of drags down the film a bit for me. This movie is very, in my opinion, slow paced. But then again, I haven't seen this one in a good while though. So yeah, but overall, I still in a way enjoy this one. So yeah, because I understand the messaging and some of the hidden themes and all that stuff with this, and the new action that's in this movie is really fun. But overall, yeah, it's a movie that I don't really watch the most, but it is an intriguing film. It is intriguing. Godzilla versus Hedorah. So a smog monster Hedorah appears and Godzilla shows up and all that stuff and tries to fight him. That is basically the plot here. So yeah, I remember like, yeah, this is Yoshimitsu Banno's baby right here. And you know what? I'm gonna go straight for it. I love this movie, man. I remember when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this movie's weird, but I love it. But I actually watch it and I no longer think it's really weird. I love it. It's very art housey-ish, artsy, you know? I like that a lot. And I do like the message about pollution and the environmentalism and all that stuff. And yeah, man, and this movie is fast. But then again, yeah, the final fight, this movie, like, you're enjoying it for like, it feels like 40 minutes, you're enjoying the movie, and then later they're already in the final fight. But then again, the final fight does, yeah, drag a bit. It kind of goes on a bit too long, and for my taste, but it's still good. Godzilla, he looks great. Hedorah, it's a damn cute design. He's pretty cute in many areas. I like Hedorah, and their fights are freaking awesome. Especially the final fight, man. That is cool. It gets nasty as hell, but yeah, the kid character, he's actually pretty decent, and the human characters, they're actually they're actually they're pretty much useful. I like that. I like that they got useful human characters here. But yeah, no, I like that. I like the surrealism. I like the different styles of directions and directing and all that stuff. And I actually still enjoy the special effects in this one. I dig Hetero a lot. I really like this movie a lot, really. And the Save the Earth theme song is really fun, man. I like it a lot. And the whole trippiness of drugs and all that stuff, that is really cool. I love Godzilla vs. Hetero, man. I'm one of those that really loves this one. Godzilla versus Gigan. So like space cockroaches disguised as humans, they try to create this theme park, and well, they get this comic book artist and all that stuff involved, and well, they find out they got an evil plan. And so, and also they're holding the female protagonist's brother and all that stuff hostage and all that stuff. So yeah, and so they have this creature named Gigan that they're controlling, but also Ghidorah's his homeboy, so they're like destroying everything. And Godzilla, in a way, he senses it, so he sends Anguirus, and well, and Anguirus goes back to him that there's trouble afoot, and then they go and they have a 2-on-2 fight with Gigan and Ghidorah. And yeah, this is another one that I actually quite like, even though they use stock footage from destroying monsters and all that stuff. This is the one that I enjoy. But and also actually quite like the human characters in some areas, in many ways actually. Sorry, I hope I'm making sense of that. But this movie again, in my opinion, it kind of drags on a bit, and I don't think you don't get any kaiju action until like 30 to 40 minutes in. So this movie, look, if you're only here for the kaiju action, you're gonna have to wait. So, yeah. But when it delivers, man. Gigan, I love Gigan. He's a cool creature. Ghidorah's back, but how Empire. This movie, this era is the influence. Without this, we don't get all these other stuff because the Heisei Millennium, they borrow stuff from this, especially the kaiju, not just kaijus, but even tones and messages. So yeah, no, overall, man, the Showa era films, yeah, I would say it's my favorite era of the Godzilla franchise. Man, I forgot to swallow again there. Thank you guys so much for watching my Showa era review of the Godzilla franchise. So, what are your thoughts on the Showa era films of Godzilla? Let me know down in the comment section down below. So this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another franchise review. And today, well, since we've been celebrating 70 years of Godzilla, we're gonna be quickly covering, and also spoilers ahead, the Heisei era from 1984 to 1995 coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, guys, quiet on set. Scene one, take one. Action! Boom! Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications because, well, it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly appreciate if you guys do hit the subscribe button because I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so let's do this, guys. All right, I'm not gonna waste any time, so like I said before, spoilers ahead, and just like the Showa, since I covered the Showa era, these are gonna be like bite-sized, you know, not in-depth reviews, just go to a quick bite-sized review so I don't have to make this, you know, this video like an hour long or something like that. So, and we got 7 movies to cover, so let's just go. Gojira, 1984, or The Return of Godzilla. Godzilla is back from the depths after 30 years. Apparently, so this is actually a direct sequel of the original 1954. So anything aside from the original 1954 film, all the other Showa era films are not canon in this timeline, so yeah. So Godzilla is back. It could be a second generation. It's probably like a second generation Godzilla, or it's Godzilla himself. I believe that in the Japanese version or in the Americanized version from 1985, I don't think they made it clear, but still, Godzilla's back, and now the world is trying to find a way to stop him, and with the help of the Super X, which I gotta say is a cool freaking weapon. So yeah, it's a nice solo Godzilla film. So honestly, I really do love this movie. Once the 2016 Blu-ray came out, or the Blu-ray and DVD came out, I finally watched the Japanese version, and holy crap, it is amazing, man. Godzilla, he's one of my favorite designs. I want to get that Funko Pop figure one day. I love his design. He's scary looking. He looks dopey in some shots, but I don't care. He looks great. Godzilla looks menacing. He's crazy, and not crazy. I don't know. Is he crazy? Nah, still though, he looks amazing looking. And I almost said crazy looking. No, he's amazing looking, man. His roar is phenomenal. His personality shines here. And it is sad when it doesn't matter which version you watch, it is sad when he falls into that volcano. The human characters are pretty good, but they can be a bit boring sometimes. They try to do this love scene with the main female character and the male character, which is, I don't know, it's not a love making scene, but more of a love scene. It doesn't, yeah. But with the professor, I love the scenes with the professor because apparently he was a surviving child. Like, I think Godzilla killed his parents back in 1954, so yeah. But then again, I feel like he doesn't want to kill Godzilla, he just want to send him back. But that's awesome. The score is amazing. The cinematography is beautiful as hell, man. It's so well lit and shot. And I love the Prime Minister, man, in this movie. He is so cool. I think he's probably, aside from the professor, he's also my favorite character in this film. And this is during the Cold War, so it shows, you know, not to get into politics, but it shows America and the Soviet Union as equals in a way when it comes to nuclear power. But man, I just love this movie, man. It does go back into basics. Godzilla's a villain here. He's scary again, and it is just crazy. And the special effects are great. The action scenes are good, and the action scenes with these Super X is great. I love this movie, and I actually quite enjoyed the 1985 version with Raymond Burr. So that is pretty cool. It's a decent edit. I like it. Especially, I love Dr. Pepper, and I love that Dr. Pepper stuff. Hey, in one of the MonsterVerse films, please include a Dr. Pepper and Taco Bell product placement. I don't mind that. All right, now we're gonna get to Godzilla versus Biollante. So Godzilla, after being trapped in the volcano, well, a group of terrorists from Saradia and all that stuff, because they're trying to get some of his Godzilla cells and all that stuff from back then, I think around the 80s, I think, during the incident, and they're trying to get that, and as a deal or something like that, if they don't give it back, if they don't give the cells back, they'll blow up the volcano. They blow up a partial volcano to unleash Godzilla, and well, things don't go to plan. Godzilla's unleashed. But then again, at the same time, this professor, like, who lost his daughter, he's trying to bring her back. I think he has her soul or herself, her DNA in this plant. So he tries to mix the Godzilla cells with the plant. and well, Biollante is born. So not only Godzilla's back, but there's another kaiju named Biollante, which I love. And those two of them clash. I actually this is one of those that I think is the most underrated out of the Heisei era, because I've heard this movie didn't do well in Japan originally, and that is sad. But I love this movie, man. I like the characters here, and also Megumi Odaka, who's gonna be a returning character in the franchise. She plays Miki Sagusa, who is a psychic who also, I believe, she has telekinetic abilities. She is amazing in this movie. She is really cool, and I like the human characters and all that stuff. And also, I just love the message about bioengineering and all that stuff, how that could go wrong. And the Godzilla, he is definitely, that is my favorite suit, my favorite design from 1989 and also the 1991 suit. It is so good, man. I love it. It's so cool. He still has that creepy, grindy roar and all that stuff. I love it a lot. And his entrance out of the volcano is so cool. Biollante, I love her so much. She is cool and all that stuff. And you kind of root for her to win a bit, because I feel like she's kind of a good kaiju, you know? Hope you guys don't mind the cat. And no, and also the fight scenes between her and Godzilla is really good. And did I mention, if I forgot to mention the score, oh, well, then again, if I did, I'll mention it again. I love the score here. It is so cool and energetic. And I love Godzilla vs. Biollante. Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. People from outer space. There's a UFO that comes in. There's people from the future that's warning them from Godzilla. So they try to erase Godzilla from the history and the timeline and all that stuff back in Lagos Island. And well, but that is all a ruse, because they use these Doras and it mutates to King Ghidorah. So yeah, now they got a new problem, King Ghidorah. But then they bring back Godzilla, so Godzilla's back. But then again, he comes back anyways because there's a lot of nuclear waste down in at the ocean. Actually, I still enjoy this one, but then again, rewatching it really confuses to me a lot of the timeline and all that stuff. But I feel like if I don't overthink it too much, I can just enjoy it. But then again, I try to piece it together in my own way. Hopefully I can do like a little video essay one day for this. But I still enjoy this one. I like the human characters and all that stuff. The score, Akira Kifube, I believe he comes back in this one to score the rest of the Heisei series. And Jesus Christ, well, except I think minus Space Godzilla. But he scores this movie and it is just amazing, man. I love his score. King Ghidorah, it is awesome, man. I love his design here. Godzilla's design is so good, man. Freaking the fights between him and King Ghidorah are so good. It feels very huge and giant scale like and all stuff. And Mecha King Ghidorah, it is so cool. And the human characters are very solid, especially Mr. Shindo. He is, you know, a tragic character. Especially I like that scene with him and Godzilla look at each other. It is very tragic and sad. And Godzilla has a lot of personality in this movie, man. I really dug this a lot, actually. Despite some not just nitpicks, more on the timeline thing and some like plot holes here and there, but overall, I still enjoyed the film. Godzilla vs. Mothra, aka Godzilla Mothra, the battle for Earth. So, Mothra's egg just shows up and she breaks free and all this stuff. Well, Godzilla's out there just destroying things, but Batra's also, you know, he's coming in and they have a fight, and then disappear, but then they reemerge later at the climax of the film. But Mothra she fights Godzilla and she's losing in a bit, but then Batra intervenes, so then it's a 2-1 fight. I remember like not liking this film when I first saw this, because I'm like, why? Because Godzilla loses. But looking as a grown adult, I love this film, man. I like of course, the environmental message. It really mirrors back to the original Mothra vs. Godzilla. And I love Godzilla's design here. He's so cool. He's a bad guy here, but then again, of course, you root for him when it comes to destroying things, even though he could get out of hand sometimes. But yeah, I love Mothra. Batra's pretty cool. He's a cool design and all stuff. But then again, I say he doesn't get a lot of screen time, but still, yeah. But the focus is on Godzilla and Mothra. Their fight is cool, and Batra, he's cool, and the final fight is really cool. I even also like the human characters. I actually didn't mind the side plot with the whole divorced parents and with the child and everything like that, especially with this dude that's Indiana Jones, like, kind of wannabe a bit, how he just steals, instead of like preserving stuff, he just steals treasure. So yeah, but overall, I really do enjoy Godzilla vs. Mothra, man. I love this movie so much. Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla from 1993, or aka Godzilla vs. Mecha Godzilla 2. So they salvaged the Mecha King Ghidorah robot out of the ocean after the events of Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and they use it as a base to create Mecha Godzilla. So Godzilla Mecha Godzilla 5, well, there's a baby Godzilla that also emerges, and also Rodan is there and becomes Fire Rodan. This is another one I really do enjoy. Overall, enjoy the Heisei era overall. I really do enjoy it. And I like that they also take risks with just having a baby Godzilla that looks like his daddy. And Fire Rodan, he is cool. Rodan is cool. He's a smaller scale compared to the Showa era counterpart, but he is so cool. I love the fight with him and Godzilla is really cool. Godzilla, of course, he's awesome and all that stuff. He's great. And Mecha Godzilla here. This is actually the first full Mecha Godzilla film I've seen. This is before I watched the original and Terra Mecha Godzilla and the Kiryu saga. I love this Mecha Godzilla. He's really cool. I like how dinosaur is he likes, and I love his roar. I think that's my favorite roar from him, aside from Kiryu's roar. Even though the original Mecha Godzilla is my favorite, Mecha Godzilla, I don't think his roar is the best one. But it is better than Monsterverse Mecha Godzilla's roar. Speaking of Mecha Godzilla and Godzilla, I love the fight between the two of them at the end, especially when Mecha Godzilla becomes Super Mecha Godzilla with the help of the Garuda one, which is really cool. And the human characters, they're fine, they're pretty decent. But I do like anything with the kaiju and the monsters. They are damn good, and I really like this one. And also Akira Ikefube's score, man. Super classic and iconic. Godzilla versus Space Godzilla. So the cells of Biollante and also the cells of Mothra, they go into this black hole and create because they got Godzilla cells in them, they create Space Godzilla. And also the Moguro's there, and also he comes in, he imprisons Godzilla's son, little Godzilla. And Godzilla's right there. He's trying to get revenge and trying to, face him off, in a one-on-one battle. But then again, Mogura comes in to help a bit. Oh, excuse me. Actually, I think this is my least favorite out of the movies. I like Space Godzilla, but he is very, in a way, generic. In many ways, in my opinion, generic compared to the other kaiju and all that stuff in this one. Even though they recycle kaiju from the Showa era, the original kaiju they create for the Heisei era, they're way better. Not just in concept, but just better design and better kaiju's better overall than Space Godzilla. Space Godzilla is cool. He's a menace, but once he destroys the crystals, he's weak. And yeah, but overall, I like Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla, but yeah, I think this movie's still fine. I think the final battle drags on for too long. I like the human characters too. I like this whole revenge plot with one of the characters and all that stuff. And Miki Sakusa, I love her so much here. And I think this is where Godzilla's still more of a hero in this one. And I love a lot of his shots here in this movie. He looks really cool. A lot of the rotoscope and green or blue screen with him. I like it. It does stand out a bit, but I like it. It really gives him a big, huge scale. And little Godzilla, little one. He's cute. I actually think he's cute. I don't mind it. I think he's better than Minya, honestly, in my opinion. And the final fight, even though I say that the final fight does drag on a bit, the kaiju fight is really good. And the stakes have been raised, I gotta say, because if Space Godzilla won, he would have taken over everything. And yeesh. And the effects are pretty cool and all that stuff. And Mogura, he's fine. He's pretty cool. I like him. Yeah, even though this is my least favorite, Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, it's a good watch. I still say it's a good watch. Now we're on to the final one, which is Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Godzilla, after absorbing too much radiation, he's gonna cause an explosion, which will cause the destruction of the Earth. But we have these little like crustaceans mutating every so often, especially now that micro-oxygen, which uses the basis of the oxygen destroyer, is basically mutated them even faster because they were born out of the oxygen destroyer from the original film. So not only they got Destroyer as a threat, Godzilla's also a threat. So also with the Super X3, they try to cool him down. But the stakes really have been raised here. And also Godzilla's son, little Godzilla turns to Godzilla Jr. He's mutated also, and resembles way more like his dad. I love this finale. This is such a sad but yet epic finale, man. I love Godzilla's burning Godzilla design. I love it so much. Destroyer, he is awesome. Even though I think he can be a bit overrated. His design is great, but I feel like he's not as powerful as some fans make him out to be, honestly, because he gets taken out by the military quick. I'm not just saying this. Even James Roll calls it out, and I'm pretty sure many people call it out. He gets he gets very he gets destroyed by the military just with these ice beams they created, which, hey man, nice that the human characters are really useful in this film. Not that they were never useful, but I'm glad that even these human characters are involved. And they also got Emiko Yamane. They all got the original actress to come in to play Emiko Yamane, and just to have the Yamanes come in and just get involved in the plot. The human characters are really good here, and Miki Sagusa, she is epic in this one, man. Megumi Odaka, I think she hopefully I didn't butcher her last name. she gives an amazing performance here in my opinion. But yeah, going back to Destroy, even though I think it's a bit overrated and some I feel like people make him a bit too OP and all that stuff, or they try to hype him up as very OP. He is still fucking awesome. His multiple stages are so good. I love his abilities. He is cool. And he's a walking oxygen destroyer, man. And also, as much as I love Destroyer, in a way he still gets his ass beat by Godzilla. But I mean, the reason why you can see him kick his ass, because then again, Godzilla always gets his ass kicked. And also, Godzilla was mourning because he kind of kills his son a bit. But once Godzilla melts down and dies, he transfers all of his energy to his son, so he doesn't die, and his son becomes the new king of the monsters, which is cool. I do like that ending. But it is actually, yeah, this is the first Godzilla movie I've ever really cried, because just his death is just super duper sad. But despite my criticism with Destroyer, I love Destroyer, man. He's so cool, badass, and I do hope they bring him in the MonsterVerse, man. I really love Destroyer. But yeah, one last criticism, yeah, even when Godzilla, gets back on his feet, he kicked Destroyer's ass. It's just that Godzilla was already dying, so yeah. They cool him down, but instead of exploding, he will cause a meltdown. But luckily they cooled him down so he doesn't cause a meltdown, so yeah. But once again, I love Destroy and all that stuff. I just also feel like, fans kind of overhype him a bit. So yeah, but here's the thing. He's cool. He is great. He is one of the best original kaijus that Toho has created. And this movie's fucking awesome, man. What a way to cap the Heisei era with Godzilla's death, so they can make way into the original American series. Okay. But yeah, that is my review for the Heisei era. I'm so glad so happy that you guys stuck around here, if you actually stuck around at the end. So thank you guys so much for that. So let me know down in the comment section down below, have you guys seen any of the Heisei era films, or what are your overall thoughts of the Heisei era? What you guys think of it? I would love to know. Please let me know down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your opinions on it. So this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to since we're celebrating 70 years of Godzilla, we'll be quickly covering, and this is going to be a spoiler-heavy review of Godzilla 1998, aka Zilla, aka Gino, coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Alright guys, quiet on set. Scene 1, take 1. Action. Boom! Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications, because, well, it helps the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly do appreciate if you guys do hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so let's make that happen. For the rest of this video, I'm gonna call it Godzilla, because that's how it's called and all that stuff. And yeah, over time, a couple of Godzilla fans have warmed up to this film, so yeah. Godzilla 1998 has this scientist, well, basically, after the French Polynesian islands, there's a nuclear test bomb in the 50s, and well, a bunch of iguanas, I believe, die, and well, one of them mutated an egg, and it was a couple years later, this iguana pretty much mutates into, well, Godzilla. And well, Godzilla's on his way from the Pacific to New York City, and so Patrick Tatopoulos, that's actually the special effects guy. Nick Tatopoulos, played by Matthew Broderick. Well, he's trying to study Godzilla while the military is trying to destroy him, along with a nice French agent played by Jean Reno. His name is Philippe. While also a bunch of stupid ass conflict with his ex-girlfriend and all that stuff, and Hank Azaria and Harry Shearer and Nancy Cartwright, like basically Simpsons, cast is in this movie. So yeah, so they're just trying to find a way to stop Godzilla. Well, also they later figure out that Godzilla's laying a nest there. All right, now this is gonna just brass tacks all that stuff. So this is actually technically, when it comes to Godzilla films with the name Godzilla, this is the first Godzilla film that I've seen in full. So I remember when I saw the commercial, basically the first media I was exposed to Godzilla, how I was properly introduced to Godzilla was Godzilla 2000, because there was that TV commercial and I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that movie, and well, we went, I think it was a Walmart. Yeah, it was like a Walmart or a Kmart. They had this rack of VHS, and well, that was back then when the VHS tapes were a big deal. And there was a VHS copy of a bunch of them actually, of Godzilla. Causes a breath gas thing, but it don't really count. But I remember as a kid, I really enjoyed this movie, and yeah, and ever since then, I have some sort of nostalgia to this film. But then again, I reached a phase where I was hating on it because, well, every Godzilla fan was hating on it. And then again, understandably so, especially when the movie came out, I get it. I really freaking get it. I even have friends who are way older than me who saw this as kids or teenagers back in the theater, and they were really disappointed back in 1998. So yeah, no, I freaking get it. Even if you hate this movie, still to this very day, I get it. But for me, I remember hating, I went through a phase of hating, but now that time has passed, and you know what, taking a step back, I enjoy this movie as a monster movie, but as a Godzilla film, yeah, I have to agree with the masses, is that this movie is very disrespectful to Godzilla. One, of course, Godzilla gets easily killed by the military. It's not that he can get killed by the military, it's just that he just gets too easily killed. He gets caught by the... Sorry if I'm playing with my hair too much, guys. He gets caught in the Brooklyn Bridge, and they shoot him down with jet planes, and I'm like... I don't know, man. And of course, Godzilla runs away from the military and all that stuff, and, you know, he's, instead of, you know, being a brute and fighting them. And of course, his design is drastically different from one of, you know, the Japanese one. And also, I believe they changed his nationality to Japanese to French here, because the bombing is in the French Polynesian Islands, or he could be Samoan. But, yeah, it's in spirit and heart, it's disrespectful, honestly. And you know what? I heard even Japan, not just Toho, but even Japan were like upset about this film, and understandably so. Even for hardcore Godzilla fans like myself, yeah, I can see the people, the ones who hate it. And for me, yeah, it's, you know, I like the movie okay, but Jesus fucking shit, man. This is it is not a proper Godzilla film, in my opinion. Even Roland Emmerich admitted it. He wasn't even a fan of this film. Dean Devlin, because he did it because of Dean Devlin, because he's a fan. But even then, I think Roland Emmerich had more of a say to do all this stuff. So, and oh man, I gotta say, this has gotta be, aside from Godzilla films, even for films in general, this has got to be one of the worst human casts out there. Well, I like Nick Totopoulos. I like Matthew Broderick's character, and anything scientist, Matthew Broderick is great. Nick Totopoulos is great. Even Animal, played by Hank Azaria, he's fun. Even Jean Reno, Philippe Laroche, I think that's his full name. Philippe, he's great. Anything with these fun characters, and also, you know, Harry Shearer, the news reporter, he's goofy as hell, even though he's a, you know, he can catch cases and all that stuff. But yeah, they're fun characters. But then again, Jesus, I think the movie focuses too much on him. And also the military, you know, I think the actor, he's a fellow Chicagoan, Kevin Dunn, is in this movie. And he's always playing the same role. Every time I see him, he's always playing the scream role, like, I'm gonna scream and, you know, fire on the thing. And I love him, but Jesus Christ. Yeah. And O'Neill, he's a goofy character, but I'm like, why does a goofy character like him be having a higher rank and all that stuff? And I'm like, I'm just reading into it, but yeah, but then again, they focus on too much, and also they just these characters get way too dumb later on during the movie, especially during the nest scenes, when they're just doing some kind of dumb decisions and all that stuff, but whatever. But the worst character in this movie is gotta be Maria Patilla's character, Nick's ex-girlfriend, Audrey. I hate her. She is annoying. Well, even Maria Patilla doesn't give a good performance, but then again, I can't really blame the actress because of the script and the direction she was given, but Jesus shit, man, I hate her character, man. She's gaslighting as hell, even though she was I'm gonna go on a different tangent here, but she is the reason why they broke up and all that stuff. And just by the way they reunite, Nick and her reunite, the way she talks to him, I'm like, I feel like she's the problem in this relationship. And also she screws over Nick and all that stuff, even though then again, he's kind of dumb for putting fully trust in her and all stuff and leaving her top secret evidence, for people to see. But still, Audrey, she's a terrible, terrible character. She's just bad. She's a bad person in this, and she's so selfish and all that stuff. And it's, and when she gets redeemed, I just feel like it's not really earned. It's just like, man, I just wish, Godzilla squashed her ass. And I feel like this movie drags on a bit too much. This movie's almost 2.5 hours long, so Jesus Christ. It's like you think the movie's over, but then again, we got the nest, and then Godzilla survives the submarine scene, all that stuff, but Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get onto my positives. As you know, here's the thing. As a Godzilla movie, this doesn't work, but as a monster movie, it really does work. I gotta say, Zilla. Yeah, I'll just call him Zilla right here. His character design, aside from as an original design, it looks sleek and it's very. This kaiju, this monster, is very clever on maneuvering the military. Even though that is very stupid, how he's able to burrow on New York City, and this whole time, no one even took a glance at. Sorry, there's a fruit fly here. A glance at Madison Square Garden. But again, I'm just nitpicking all that stuff. And no, but the character, I kind of like the character. He's really cool. Of course, he has Godzilla's roar and it's really cool. And also it reproduces asexually. So it'll lay eggs. But then again, Jesus Christ, that's the end of the world. But I kind of, the Godzilla creature in the movie, I like the character. It's really cool. The score is pretty nice. The action scenes, I gotta say, they're really nice, even though that the military causes more damage than Godzilla does. But yeah, but the set pieces, the action is really good. Even though the CGI looks dated and all that stuff, it looks, I gotta say, it looks pretty good in some shots here and there. But it does vary, you know. But yeah, but I also appreciate this movie does kind of keep it simple. It's a monster rampaging through a city that we all know and love. And they're just trying to find a way to stop. And also, I just also like that Godzilla's character here. It's more of an animal trying to survive. And especially when Nick is trying to, you know, explain to everybody doing these decisions and killing him. At least Nick is trying to understand him. And also that, I gotta say, it's pretty sad when they do kill Godzilla. And yeah, and also leaves to that singer where his son, you know, well, his surviving child breaks open that egg. And they were gonna, yeah, so I remember like in my Heisei review, they were gonna do like a trilogy, like a series. And it was supposed to be like a trilogy, but it got canceled because of the poor reception. But at least it got a damn cool animated series, I gotta say. But yeah, despite my issues with the movie, I think it's overall, it's overall okay. As a monster film, as a Godzilla film, yeah, it's bad. But as a film, as a film itself, and also it is a Godzilla movie. It has a name, so I have to count it here. As an overall film, it's okay. I actually have a soft spot for it because I do have fond memories watching this movie, you know, from time to time. And even though that I cringe at a lot of the scenes, mostly just Audrey scenes and some dumb interactions with her with the other characters. But also the characters look stupider around her and all that stuff. I love Maria Patello. I just don't like her character here. She's just, oh my God. This character just single-handedly creates this ensemble of just worst, in my opinion, one of the worst human characters in a Godzilla movie, if not a movie in general. But yeah, but despite my issues though, I like the effects, I like the action, the score is really nice, and and some of the characters are pretty fun. This is actually a pretty fun popcorn film, which is really nice. It doesn't try to be way too deep, but you know, it's a Godzilla film. Because here's the thing, I'm not expecting anything hugely deep when it comes to an American adaptation of this film, but as a Godzilla film, it just doesn't work. Just for the character and just, you know, some of the rules here. But overall, I still enjoy this film, and not just for nostalgia, but I do see value in this. So I quite enjoy this. So with that, I'll give Godzilla 1998 a solid 3 out of 5. So that is my review for Godzilla 1998. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for watching my video. So let me know down in the comment section down below. Have you guys seen Godzilla 1998? What you guys think of it? I would love to know. Please let me know down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your opinions on it. So this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another series review, and today we'll be doing the Millennium Era. Since throughout this year I've been doing the Godzilla 70th anniversary celebration, and today we'll be quickly covering the Millennium Era spoilers review. So I'm gonna be quickly talking about all 6 Millennium Era films, spoiler heavy and all that stuff. So yeah, let's just do that. So coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, guys, quiet on set. Scene 1, take 1. Action. Boom. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications because, well, it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly appreciate if you guys do hit that subscribe button because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's hit that mark, guys. 1,000. Yeah, not 100,000 or whatever. All right, so I'm gonna try to make this quick as I can. So let's just quickly do this. Now we're gonna talk about Godzilla 2000, or just Gojira Millennium. I hope I'm saying it right. Millennium 2000. So, hopefully I didn't butcher that name. But yeah, it's Gojira Millennium. All right, so yeah, we're gonna call it Godzilla 2000 here. Godzilla, this is G team that's basically tracking him around. They're kind of like a Godzilla Weather Channel, basically like a tornado chaser. Instead of a tornado, they're chasing Godzilla, which is really nice. But also we got Karakiri, who's basically trying to kill Godzilla because him and our main character Shinoda, they used to work together, and then well, they had differences, and well, they went to separate ways. Well, in a way, Godzilla's destruction in a way unites them. And also we have this UFO that, well, it looked like a rock that was found underneath the ocean, but they found out that a couple thousand or maybe a million years ago, this UFO crash landed on Earth, and now that it's woken up, Godzilla's, you know, he wants to kick his ass. So yeah, now let's get on to the review here, guys. Okay, when it comes to Godzilla, like official Godzilla, like Toho, Japanese, anything, like we know the Godzilla, this is actually my first true Godzilla film that I've seen, man, because this is, wow, because this is actually, I think I've said this a couple times before in the YouTube channel, but this is the Godzilla that I was introduced to for the franchise. I remember seeing the commercials or the trailers on TV for Godzilla 2000 for the US release. I was 5 years old, and I still remember it to this very day, those commercials, and I wanted to see it in theaters. I didn't get a chance to until the VHS came out to a local video store, and I rented it and I loved it. It was funny because I saw Roland Emmerich's version first, and I thought Godzilla was gonna die. And then again, I watched a lot of monster movies where the giant monster dies, but always in a way comes back, or just, you know, slasher villains coming, you know, dying and then they come back in the next one. So I expected Godzilla to die here, but he didn't die, and I was a bit thrown off. Oh, that's sad for the people. But then again, I'm like, but it's badass as a little kid. I'm glad that Godzilla lived at the end of the movie. So no, seeing an official Godzilla film, it is just phenomenal, man. I really loved I dug the special effects more there, man, because of course it was, you know, guys in suits, but it was real. It was just amazing. The scale level is great, and it is just so good. And dude, I love this suit, man. I'm glad I pre-ordered the Haya Toys figure, man. I love this suit, man. It's probably one of my top 3 or top 5 favorite suits of like designs of all time, and I just love like Mide Goji suit, man. I love Mide Goji, man. He is so cool. All right, let's get on to the story here. The story is actually pretty fine. It was actually, I believe I've heard, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a response film to the Roland Emmerich film that unfortunately did piss Japan off, not just Toho, and yeah, and fans out. So it was more of a response, I believe, film. But then again, they were already gonna plan. I've also heard that they were gonna plan to bring him back. They were just gonna, you know, wait for a couple years, maybe let America do their films, and then, well, until that backfired, they're like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves. And for a story, for just a straightforward, you know, safe return story, I like it a lot. It's really cool, but it's not a solo Godzilla film, because this is actually a requel. Yeah, it's a requel film. So this is actually a direct sequel towards the original 1954 film. So as a requel, usually requels, when it's like more of a Godzilla solo film, he's by himself, doesn't really fight anybody unless he's fighting a Super X. But here, he's fighting Orga, an alien, and I love Orga, man. And I love the personality of Orga and all that stuff. And well, it's also trying to imitate Godzilla. It's really nice. And when him and Godzilla fight, it is awesome, man. So I like this. I like that the story, even the human characters are pretty nice. You know, Io, Shinoda, Yuki, and Karakiri was really cool, man. Especially when you watch it in English dub. He has this deep voice. It's really, really freaking cool. I love it. But yeah, I like the characters. They're pretty cool. I like them a lot. The action scenes, the cinematography, the special effects scenes are really, really cool. And yes, going back to Godzilla, he is great in this movie. It's awesome and all that stuff. And his atomic breath is great. I like how staticky it gets. And Orga's nice. And I love the final battle between the two. I really, really dug this film. And if I'm gonna lean, this is actually one of those moments where I kind of prefer the American version a bit, because I just feel like it's just, especially with the sound design, it feels like a more complete film. But especially with the Sony Blu-ray that came out not too long ago, I really love the Japanese version. I love both. Whichever version ever comes out, if ever they were to re-release it in theaters, whichever version comes out in theaters, I'm gonna be fine with either or. My only nitpick though with the American version is that it does include Roland Emmerich's roar. And if you listen to the DVD commentary or Blu-ray commentary track by the people who edited the film, they said that, oh, we did not add any sound effects on the 1998 film. Yeah, you did. Then what the hell is that? Jokingly, you know, don't worry. It's just, you know, I'm having fun here. But yeah, I love this movie. I love Godzilla 2000. I freaking dig this a lot. Godzilla versus Megaguirus. So this gets very creative in a way. But then again, this is also kind of weird, but also funny at the same time. So this is another requel. So this is a direct sequel to the 1954 film. So in a way, I think it ignores Godzilla 2000, even though I think it uses the same suit. So, or maybe it has some modifications with the colors and all that stuff, but I think it is the same suit. So the military is, so we also have this main character, her squadron dies, Godzilla stomps on them and all that stuff. So fast forward a couple years later, I believe, or months, the military is, they're trying to, in a way, get rid of Godzilla by creating a artificial black hole, which is crazy. And they get this scientist dude here that owns a shop and also who wears, as a Chicago Cubs fan, a kid from Chicago, he wears a Cubs hat throughout the whole movie. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. So, no, and they get his help to create extra stuff and all that stuff. And also with his inventions are really freaking nice and everything. I like that a lot. So, yeah, it's just, they're just trying to get rid of Godzilla through a black hole. So they do an experiment, but unfortunately, a Megaluna, I believe, a Megaluna or just a dragonfly flies in the black hole. Or just a Megaluna appears and it evolves into multiple of them actually, and then they all like get together. But and then the giant Megaguirus shows up, and well, Godzilla's there to fight it. Yeah, you know what? I gotta say, this is I've seen from the Godzilla community. I've seen like a lot of people. This is like then again, it is. Yeah, it technically is my least favorite out of the Millennium Era, but I love this one. I think it's the underrated one, not just mostly for the Godzilla franchise in general. I think it's very underrated because, yeah, the story, it's very simple, I think, and the characters, they're not as good as I will say the previous result. It's not one of the best characters, but then again, well, when you compare, because I actually quite like the characters. I like the scientist character. I like the military characters, and I also like our main character, just really nice. She has this arc where she wants to avenge her squadron for the, just to get back at Godzilla. So, but I understand why people don't like the movie. It's just that I think is they kind of, how I see it is that they're kind of a stereotypical trope and all that stuff, or more like caricatures in a way. And I understand that. I think that I understand that. Well, but I quite like the characters, and I think it's underrated because I really like the creativity here and all that stuff. The black hole, that's really nice. Instead of just using militaries, just shooting him down and all, or trying to take him down, all that stuff. I like that they're getting very creative with things. A black hole's nice, but that they create Megaguirus, and I actually quite like Megaguirus. I quite like Megaguirus. It has a lot of personality, and it does put up a good fight with Godzilla. And I like the sounds and roars it makes, man. That is really freaking nice. And Godzilla does that iconic, jump dive on him or her. It's so cool. And Godzilla, he's great in this. He's really great. I like his personality here. He is so cool. And the stinger at the end, that is really freaking nice. Yeah, but then again, there are moments where this movie does, it's a little slow. It does kind of like, it's a little slow pace, especially when there's not a lot of kaiju action. But I do like some of those creepy, nasty, I gotta say nasty, because man, sometimes when I would go fishing, sometimes there would be a lot of bugs underwater. It kind of brings me to that. It gets a little nasty and creepy cinematography with all those Megalunons, or those little like dragonflies underwater, especially with that giant egg, that little cocoon in the middle. Ugh. But no, I dig this movie a lot. It is a little slow paced in certain areas, but the score, I say the score defines the Millennium Era. I love the score, and it'll be used it'll be used for the Kiryu saga. So yeah, I quite enjoy Godzilla versus Megaguirus. GMK, or basically Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, giant monsters all out attack. Oh my god. Yeah, let's just get started here. So Godzilla, I believe he's being possessed by soldiers of World War II and future generations. As far as I've seen, they've been disrespecting the past and all that stuff. So we have this news reporter trying to just cover stories and all that stuff. And now we have these Godzillas here, but also these Guardians beasts, which is Baragon, who did not make it in the title. You got Mothra and King Ghidorah. So yeah, King Ghidorah is actually a good guy here for the first time. That's really nice. And well, Godzilla's on a rampage, and they're trying to summon all these guardian beasts are trying to stop him. And well, everybody's trying to find out, what's going on. Alrighty then, let's get on to the review. That was a bad description of the plot synopsis I just gave, but a lot of stuff happens here, but it's just so good. So they got director, I hope I didn't butcher his name. Well, Kaneko, who directed the Shunsuke Kaneko, he directed one of my favorite trilogies of all time, the Gamera trilogy from the 90s, man, and genius to bring him in here, and his take on Godzilla, it is amazing, man. It's like seeing a demon or a ghost just roaming around Japan, and when Godzilla stomps, you really see him stomp on people, like you really see people getting hurt, and that is just crazy. Yeah. No, and also Godzilla, man, he can be pretty invincible here, but but then again, once King Ghidorah, he becomes King Ghidorah, Godzilla shows vulnerability here. But man, I love Godzilla here. His design is great, and he's one of my favorite suits of all time. And I did pre-order the Hyatt Toys figure. White eyes, giant fangs, and thick legs, but he moves around and he hunches because it was a heavy suit. Excuse me. But no, I love Godzilla here. He's a huge menace, man, and his destruction scenes are brutal as hell. Mothra is really freaking cool. I love it here. Ghidorah is really nice. I like his design here. He's really cute, actually, in a way. And Baragon, I love Baragon, especially we all seen that behind the scenes with the actress playing Baragon. Cute, and it makes even Baragon scenes even cuter. And the human scenes are really freaking good. I like our main character's father character. He's really freaking cool. And our main character is really nice. I like that she gets involved with things, and I really like that a lot. And also, a lot of the extra characters, human characters here, if we get a couple of minutes, not a lot of screen time, but they do make an impact here, and I really like that a lot. And his themes about World War II and all that stuff, it is really good, man. This movie, and I would say, is really deep. And again, the kaiju action, it is just crazy good. Cinematography, the effects are good. The score is amazing. I really love this movie, and this movie's been praised to death, and not much I can say about this one. Yeah, it's one of the best Godzilla films I've ever seen. Jesus Christ, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. I remember looking at the DVD cover and looking at Godzilla's white eyes. That kind of freaked me out as a little kid, but as an adult, man, that is fucking awesome, man. That is, oh man, I need to have a Japanese poster of that movie. I love this movie so much. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So we got a character, Akane. Basically, is it kind of a, I would say it's kind of a recycled plot in a way of Godzilla's Mechagears, but I kind of like the human aspect here much better here. So Akane gets her squad killed because I believe she kind of freaked out by trying to shoot a maser at Godzilla. And a couple years later, they create the Kiryu program because they dug up the bones of the original Godzilla from 1954. Oh yeah, so before I move on, even GMK and this one, and with the exception of Tokyo SOS and basically this whole, this Millennium era is kind of like requels to the original. So this movie, again, disregards everything else. So then here, this is a direct sequel to the original 1954 film, which is pretty nice. So yeah, so then they create this Kiryu program. Well, a guy that's he kind of has a liking to her, which he's kind of cringy, but in a funny way. I like that, and he has his daughter. So it's a nice human story here. So they create Mechagodzilla, but he's also given the name Kiryu, and Godzilla's there. So they have a fight, but once Godzilla roars, Kiryu remembers who he is, so he goes on a rampage. It's temporarily, but then of course they have the rematch at the end, and then yeah, it's a cool fight. No, I quite like this. I quite like this one a lot, actually. Godzilla against Mechagodzilla is such a well-paced film, and the special effects scenes are great. Godzilla, his design is really cool. I like that. It's basically the Mita Goji suit, how I see it, but except that his eyes are big, and I would always say that this is probably when Godzilla kind of sees the line of coke before he did a shoot, because he looked like he was on coke. But no, I like the suit. But I gotta say, Kiryu, man, I love Kiryu, like the Mechagodzilla here, man. I love the design, the roar. I could say, I would say it's probably, because I always try to go back and forth, but I would probably say Kiryu's roar is the best roar in my opinion, man. Because you really hear the original, you really hear Godzilla in there, because of course he has the bones of Godzilla. So man, I really love the design and all of his upgrades, and the absolute zero cannon he has. Damn good, man. I really like that a lot. No, and the action scenes between Godzilla and Kiryu on both fights, it is so cool. I really like that a lot. This movie is, when it comes to the pacing, I think, it's fast paced, but there are moments where I feel like it kind of slows down a little bit. But then again, it's more of a nitpick here, because it leads way to this cool story that I really do, that I like about Akane, who she is like there was actually a nice redemption arc with her, and how she just overcomes her fears and feeling like she's doubtful of herself, but then she overcomes it, which is really freaking nice. And there's this cool conflict between her and another one of her teammates, where one of the guys that she got accidentally she got killed was his brother, and I like that a lot. And also it's really cute seeing the romantic scenes with her and the guy that's trying to, well, of course, hook up with her. But no, I really like this. I like this. I like the chemistry with all these human characters and just the story there. And yeah, I'm a little biased here. Yumiko Shaku, who plays Akane, I still to this very day have a crush on her. A celebrity crush on her. She is just beautiful, but she's a phenomenal performer in her films, and from what I've seen her outside of that, she seems like a nice bubbly person, so that is nice. I remember having a major crush on her as a kid and all that stuff, and I still do, man. I'm a grown-ass man, I still do. So yeah, hey, whatever, man. Hey, she's gorgeous. But yeah, but other than that, this film is awesome, man. I really dig this a lot. Godzilla Tokyo SOS is a direct, so it's not of a requel, it's a direct sequel to Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. So it kind of shows up for like a minute or two. So, but here we have focused on a new cast of characters, which follows the grandfather. He's one of the main characters from Mothra from 1961. Yeah, so it's not only a direct sequel to 1954, it is a direct sequel to the Showa era Mothra film, which is really nice. So the main characters are from the Mothra family, as I like to call them. So speaking of Mothra is upset that they're using the bones of Godzilla for Kiryu, and it which understandably just goes against the balance of nature. But since after the events of Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, where Akane pretty much critically damaged Godzilla in the chest, Godzilla still hasn't healed, but Godzilla's still rampaging Japan, and Kiryu's there, and they're trying to find a way to stop him while they can. And it's this nice like 2-on-1 fight between Mothra and Godzilla. Kiryu, Mothra, and Godzilla. And spoiler alert, of course, she dies. He kills her ass, but her baby's hatched, and they try to go after him, which is kind of a remake of Mothra vs. Godzilla from 1964. Yeah, I really like this movie. I really like this a lot. I think it's a little bit better than Against Mechagodzilla, because I say this, just the pacing is a bit better, and I think the story is just a little bit more fleshed out a bit, because I think this doesn't focus too much on characters and all stuff and it just gets straight to the point. Simple story, gets to the point. I like that a lot, and I love the connections with not just for Mothra, but I believe it also connects to all the other Showa era films, non-Godzilla films. So yeah, and I like that for continuity's sake. They say they were so afraid for Mothra to come in to help out, because they were like, last time she came to Tokyo, she destroyed it, and yeah, they're right. I like continuity. And Godzilla, he's awesome, man. I like that scar he has in his chest, which is really cool. And Kiryu is awesome too, man. And that ending with our main character and Kiryu, that's pretty sad, I gotta say. Pretty sad. But yeah, no, I like that. I like this a lot. I like this movie a lot, man. This is really freaking cool. The action, special effects is great. The score is great. It's damn good. It's so fun, straightforward. It is fun, man. And this is a nice homage to the Mothra, not just Mothra, but Mothra vs. Godzilla. Man, this is so cool. The action is I gotta say, is intense too, in a way, man. When Kiryu's down, you actually feel for him, which, like, holy shit. I love Godzilla, but there were moments where I'm rooting for Kiryu to win, man. So yeah, this one is awesome. Godzilla Final Wars. We're at the final one of the Millennium Era. So I believe this is I don't know if this is a direct sequel to 1954 or a sequel to the whole franchise, because this film feels like a big, huge homage to the franchise in general. So we got the Gotenko fighting Godzilla. They give him into this icy prison, but years later, everybody's basically controlling, or basically in a way, yeah, just policing all these kaijus that are destroying the cities, until a bunch of aliens come in. And of course, you know what aliens do. They take over everything, and then they have a lot of these kaijus they unleash all these kaijus. So our main characters, they go in and get help from Godzilla, of course, by using the Gotenko again. And then, well, yeah, Godzilla's on his badass, like a freaking fighting game tournament rampage to getting rid of all these kaiju, basically getting control back. And well, it leads to a nice final battle between him and Kaiser Ghidorah. Man, I gotta say, this movie, I understand why people don't like this movie, because it kind of very much like you could argue it rips off the Matrix a lot and all that stuff, and I'm pretty sure people can say it focuses too much on the humans, and then like you don't see Godzilla doesn't show up again till 40 to an hour into the film. And this movie's like 2 hours plus, so yeah, I believe this is the first Godzilla film that's 2 hour, like almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. I don't got a problem with that, but I get it. I get the criticisms, and I get its attractiveness. But personally, I love this film. I love our human characters, man. Every single one is cool, and our villain is so much fun to watch, man. He is just so funny as hell, and the action is crazy. At least it's, you know, it gives you action. You know, in case you don't care about the plot, at least it gives you action to get distracted. So there you go. But no, I love how bonkers this is, man. Every fight, when Godzilla shows up, which I love his design. I love his design so much. When Godzilla shows up, man, he just goes crazy. I love it. You know, all bets are off. Gloves are taken off. It's bonkers, and I love it, man. Every single fight, you know, the fight between King Caesar and Anguirus and Rodan against him. It is really freaking cool, man. And of course, the fight between Kaiser Ghidorah and Godzilla, that is so cool, man. My only nitpick for the film, I wish we had a fight between Hedorah and Ebirah against Godzilla, man. That was more off screen. You mostly saw the aftermath, which, yeah. And that was a cool, funny, short fight between Zilla and Godzilla, which, you know, hey, you know, healing the wounds from that one. But yeah, no, I really dug this movie a lot. I just like that this movie does not just unapologetically just goes nuts, man. And I respect that a lot. I love Final Wars, and it's fun. I pop it in every now and then because it's fun, and you know, show it to kids, and they'll have a good time, man. This is cool. It's a cool popcorn flick, and a nice way to end the 50th anniversary. So that is really nice, man. So yeah, that was my review for the Millennium Era. Overall, I'm a big fan of the Millennium Era, but I grew up with it. I was a little kid who grew up with the Millennium Era, so yeah, I was those kids. I was those kids who grew up with the Millennium Godzilla, and man, what a way a kid like me getting introduced to Godzilla, which got me excited for watching the past Godzilla films. I was trying to get my hands on any Godzilla, not just renting, but buying them, like the Callis and Media DVDs and all that stuff. I wanted Godzilla. I wanted all Godzilla. So thanks to the Millennium Era, I became mostly Godzilla 2000. I became a hardcore Godzilla fan. Yeah, Godzilla 1998 too, but mostly because of this Godzilla. Godzilla, when he was working in the Millennium Era, man. It's from 1999 to 2004. That was my Godzilla, and that's fucking awesome, man. So yeah. Yeah, thank you guys so much if you guys stuck around at the end of this video. So let me know down in the comment section down below. What do you guys think of the Millennium Era? I would love to know. Please let me know down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your opinions on it. So this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another franchise review, and today, well, since over this whole year, we've been going after the 70th anniversary of the Godzilla franchise, and today we'll be quickly talking about the Reiwa era. Yeah, we're going to be talking about the live action and the theatrical anime films coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Alright guys, quiet on set. Scene 1, take 1. Action. Boom! Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications because, well, it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly appreciate it if you guys do hit that subscribe button because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's hit that mark, guys. Ooh, forgot to swallow right there, guys. Alright, so actually I'm gonna try to do this as quick as I can. I might talk a little bit more of the Polygon trilogy since I have not talked about these films, and yes, because I already talked about Shin Godzilla, I already talked about -1 a couple of times already, so not much I can add for those two films other than just, let's just quickly mention them. So, spoilers up ahead. Shin Godzilla, basically this is a remake of the original 1954 film, so it's kind of like a political satire. So Godzilla, he shows up in many forms and he becomes this ultimate Lovecraftian destroyer, and of course it's up for all of our characters to basically, come up with a plan to kill him. So yeah, I already talked about this film already, but you know what, all I gotta say is that not much I can add too much, but all I can say is that I really still enjoy this film. I think this movie got better and better every time I watch it, because at first I loved it, but then again, there's a time where I'm like, oh, you know, maybe it's a little overrated in some areas. But no, I really do love it because, yeah, the human characters, there's a lot of human character scenes here, not a lot of Godzilla. But then again, I actually like the human characters more and more this time around. Our main character, I understand his internal struggles, even though they're all like political heads, you know, and all that stuff, and the satire of it. And yeah, and also, and going back to the, and I'll get back to that, is because yeah, a lot of people don't really want to relate too much to political figures and all that stuff when it comes to entertainment films, but I feel like, going back to the satire, I think that really helps it a bit out. I love the Prime Minister, how he has morals, even though he wants to get rid of Godzilla, he has morals. There's a scene that there's a train going, and there's still a small little family, and they have the opportunity to kill Godzilla, but this is a small family. The helicopters and all stuff are ready to shoot. The tanks are ready to shoot. He says, no, there's a family there. We'll wait till they get out of the way, but it's already too late. And he dies in the film halfway through, and it is, or around the third act, and it is sad. He's actually be my second favorite character. And you know what? Yeah, she's hot as hell. But now I'm getting out the way. I kind of like that Japanese American character they got there, and she is very reliable, and I like that her spunkiness. And Godzilla himself, he is crazy awesome, all that stuff, and he is awesome. All of his atomic breath scenes, it is terrifying yet cool, and the way they defeat him is pretty cool. And of course, that little thing at the end, his tail with all the humanoid creatures coming out. Yeah. The original score is so operatic and beautiful, but actually if I have any criticisms of Shin Godzilla is that, yeah, it recycles so much of the legit, you could tell they took like digital files of the original score by Akira Ikufube, and they just slapped it on the film, and you know what, I think that's pretty lazy right there. But other than that, dude, Hideaki Anno's film, it is phenomenal. Hideaki, hopefully I didn't butcher his name. Hideaki Anno, basically, you know, Eva, the Injustice Evangelion creator. Hideaki Anno, I'm just gonna call him that. I think he did a great job here, and I saw this at the Saturday premiere when it came to the United States, and it was so worth it, man. Godzilla Planet of the Monsters. Basically, is the first. So we're gonna talk about the Polygon anime trilogy that was released theatrically and then put on Netflix. So it is the first of the trilogy and all that. So basically, Earth, even though with the help of other aliens out there, they try to help them out to destroy all these monsters, especially Godzilla. They evacuate, and a couple years later, they feel like, you know what? Let's try to go back there and maybe see if Godzilla is still there. And sure enough, he still is. So it's up for them to not only try to take the planet back, but to kill Godzilla once and for all. Yeah, I gotta say, this is actually, I remember when I don't know if you guys been watching my series and all that stuff. I remember when I said there was one Godzilla film I do not like, but then again, excuse me, I'm gonna leave that in, it's funny. But I'm gonna take these words back, because after rewatching the trilogy on Netflix, I appreciate these films overall. I remember not liking them and all that stuff, because one of the things that then again, this is also my criticism. Then again, there's some criticisms that still hold on to the trilogy as a whole. Haruo, I feel like he gets on my nerves a lot. All he does is scream, yell, and he plays this caricature of anime characters where you have the main character who is this angry as young man or boy, just pissed off, and that is his character trait. And I'm just like, dude, I get it, he killed your parents and your grandfather just died, but man, boy, calm down. And even also throughout the trilogy, there's a lot of characters they introduced, and they don't got much to develop them. Well, they get some more development in the future installments, but in this first movie, you don't really get to know much of the characters, especially his love interest. And this movie kind of takes a while to get going, because they talk a lot about science and all that stuff getting in there, which is interesting, but still, you kind of want to get to it. But once they finally gets going, it gets going, man. The action scenes, all these Godzilla-like creatures, bats running around, and of course, Godzilla's cool. Well, it's kind of Godzilla's son, I believe, or his offspring, because once Godzilla's killed or defeated, the real Godzilla shows up, and it really leads up to a freaking awesome finale. And I think this is personally my favorite of the trilogy, because even though despite my issue with Haruo, I do understand why he's so pissed off. And Medfeast is such a cool character, and the score, all three movies, the course, beautiful as hell. And I'm not a huge fan of anime with a bit of 3D, with the 3D animation. But then again, the more I watch, the more I get used to it, because I'm kind of a traditionalist when it comes to anime. I love it when it's like 2D and just traditionally, but that's just my taste. But then again, overall, hey, you know, with the help of the Godzilla anime trilogy, I've gotten so used to now 3D anime. Of course, you know, Dragon Ball superhero. But overall, nice first installment. Godzilla, city on the edge of battle. Well, they find the Mecha Godzilla, after the whole evacuation of Earth, becomes this nano city, and well, they're trying to use Mecha Godzilla as the nano city to lure Godzilla in and kill him. So yeah, again, my issues again, sometimes the human characters can be a bit too extra, mainly Haruo, but then again, he's a bit toned down and he gets way more development. I also love that conflict between him and those aliens that invented Mecha Godzilla, and how they just let their greed get to them. And you know, it's all about destroying Godzilla, which I really like. And that intense scene with Godzilla. Oh, I forgot to mention Godzilla in the first one. Here, he's pretty cool here. I love the design of Godzilla Earth. So Godzilla is just lured here, and I actually love how the climax of the film leads to this awesome, nice trap. It's a trap, but it's also this huge high stakes action scene, and it is just breathtaking. Again, score, animation is beautiful as hell. Medfees, again, he pretty much in a way steals the show. And Haruo does less yelling and all this stuff here, and also his love interest. You know, you get to know her more, and unfortunately, she pretty much in a way kind of dies at the end of the film. Well, she let all the nanotech get to her, and it is pretty sad. You know, you're getting to know Haruo. He's trying, in my opinion, he gets to calm down a bit and actually just focuses on things, man, and he really gets more moral, and it is just cool, man. And I remember that I hated this film when I first saw this, and over time I was like, I don't like it, but I appreciate it. Now I actually enjoy it because I get it. It is really cool, and it has some great concepts, but not everything is well executed. I am still not the biggest fan of the nano city of Mecha Godzilla. It should have just been its own original thing. But, you know, yeah. But then again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Mecha Godzilla design, really. I think that's my least favorite Mecha Godzilla when it comes to anything, you know, any incarnations of him. Even though this is my least favorite of the trilogy, I still enjoy this installment, man. So yeah, Godzilla, the Planet Eater. Basically, you have King Ghidorah as this Lovecraftian creature coming in, and now Medfees betrays, of course, Haruo, and he tries to create this cult and all stuff at the same times, and now he's fighting Godzilla, which leads to this pretty epic fight between Godzilla and King Ghidorah. The fight with King Ghidorah and Godzilla, I like that it's very heavy and weighty. You know, when Godzilla tries to smack him or hit him, well, of course, it doesn't affect King Ghidorah, but the way he moves, you can really feel the weight of it, man. And of course, the action is good. And Haruo, in my opinion, he is at his best here. He really grew as a character to me. He really grew on me. You know, hopefully I said it right. But yeah, but no, you really feel bad for him. I mean, the ending for him, you know, him killing himself, letting Godzilla kill him, it's for me, it's a mixed bag and all that stuff. For one, I get it, because I feel like he doesn't want to live in a world without his love interest, but also at the same time, I feel like he should have, in a way, found a way to coexist with Godzilla, because at the end of the day, Godzilla and all these kaijus here, because of humans' mistreatment of the planet. So yeah, Godzilla's more of a punishment, a reaction to mankind's ignorance. And I just like how this movie all wraps up. That epic battle with Godzilla and King Ghidorah is good. Medfees defeated, and then again, you see Mothra, but you know, not really much. And yeah, and I do like, even though like I feel like this movie again with my issue with this trilogy, it kind of stops sometimes to like kind of preach you and all this stuff of philosophy and cults and all that stuff, which it works most of the time, some of the times for me. But then again, I feel like it kind of does stop these movies for a bit for me. But other than that, I do love when Medfees is preaching and, you know, talking about this philosophy and all that stuff. And, but then again, while at the same time it's cutting towards the fight, which is really cool, man. I love the scale of this, and this is my second favorite of the trilogy. So yeah, I remember like not liking this one as much, but no, I like it overall over time. Despite my criticisms with the Polygon trilogy, you know what? I can now say this. I'm glad I rewatched this recently, because you want to know something, guys? Now, there's a Godzilla movie that I do not dislike. Well, 1998, but I have a soft spot for it though. Even though it has the name, it's a nice kaiju film. It's a nice monster film, but as a Godzilla film, it is horrible. So you know what? I could kind of take that back a bit. Yeah, there's one Godzilla movie I do not like. But then again, but as a movie, it's fine. But as a Godzilla movie, it's it's very disrespectful. But that's kind of a, you know, a complicated thing for me, personally for me. But yeah, the Polygon trilogy, it is excellent, man. I would love to buy a 4K box set of all the movies with bonus features, you know. Maybe subtitle it this time, Toho. Godzilla -1. We're at the home stretch here as of right now. This is the conclusion of the Reiwa era. So this is another remake of the 1954 film. So we have Shinji Shikishima. Well, he's stationed into Oto Island, and he's with Tachibana-san, who is head of the mechanic department there for fixing planes. Well, he's a kamikaze pilot that did not go through his plans, so he went there to pull a bluff and all. But then again, a couple of the mechanics, one of the mechanics says that, hey man, I feel you, man. Why do we need more dead soldiers when we know that we're not going to win this war? But Tachibana is very, like, you know, fell for that government propaganda and all that stuff. But hey, Godzilla as a Godzillasaurus attacks the base. Shikishima, he doesn't get a chance to, he freaks out, doesn't kill him, and he gets everybody killed. So on the way home, he finds out that his parents are dead from the bombings. And again, we have everybody, you know, a neighbor of his just get on him for, she gets on his ass for being a coward, for not dying for his country. And it's all about this PTSD trauma with soldiers, not just for Japanese soldiers, but for just soldiers overall in general, in my opinion, when it comes to wars and all that stuff. And so he's orphaned by the firestorm, as I like to say, and he finds another orphan from the firestorm, Noriko, and Akiko, a baby. So they form a family and all that stuff. And he meets a couple of friends, Doc, you know, and they, but so he seems that he's gonna move on from life. Unfortunately, Godzilla, he comes back. Now he's mutated from the atom bomb of the atom bomb tests. So yeah, he's here. He destroys Ginza. He's on his way to destroy Tokyo, and it's a way they're trying to find a way to stop him. Oh my god. I gotta say, at first, Godzilla 2014 was my favorite remake of a film remake, but then again, the original is still superior, and I would still say this for the 1954 is still superior to this one. -1 now has that title because, holy shit, if you're gonna remake a movie, this is how you remake it, man. Fresh story, but again, has the heart and concept of the original film, man. And man, oh man, everything hits, man. Of course, this is a film that really focuses on the hit characters, but in my opinion, these are the best human characters ever, man. You really feel for them. Shikishima is such an interesting protagonist that you really feel for him, man. And his growth and development is good, and you really want him to have a happy ending. Even though that, yeah, Noriko, she looks like she's dead after Godzilla destroys Ginza with its atomic breath, but of course she lives. But personally, for me, I would have had her dead, but then again, I would have taken away the happy ending because we all want to see Shikishima happy at the end. And that scene when Akiko is crying, that is just heartbreaking. And his friends and the other cast, the friends, that is so good. They are amazing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying not to burp, but they are an amazing cast. I mean, human characters are great. The message of the story is great. I just like that. It's just so. Takashi Yamazaki, he said that he made this, I believe he said he made this movie where everything seems dark. I mean, I'm loosely basing what he said. Well, basically when everything seems dark and hopeless, there's always going to be, you know, a way to build up from it. And it's just, and I like that around this movie, you get these small group of characters trying to team up and defeat Godzilla because, well, they're kind of on their own here. Like the US government doesn't want to get involved because of Russia and all that stuff. And yeah, and Godzilla here, he is an asshole. And I love it, man. He is just brutal. His design is great. It's I'd say it's a mishmash of, you know what? Yeah, kind of the MonsterVerse Godzilla. My favorite Godzilla, 1989 to 1991, are basically all those suits and my design wise, and a bit of the 1954 film. This is an amazing movie, and every time Godzilla is on screen, he is a threat. You feel threatened by him, and you just want him to leave these people alone, man. So that is just crazy, man. I love the message, the characters, and the ending, man, when they try to like freeze him or suffocate or drown him. That is a very cool way to defeat him, because the Dr. Sarazawa, as of right now, he's not in this universe, so we don't have the oxygen destroyer to kill him. So it is a cool ass ending and all that stuff. And of course, you know, he's regenerating, so we'll see where that sequel leads into. Maybe King Ghidorah, please, or Hedorah. But yeah, no, I love Godzilla Minus One. It is still my favorite film of 2023, and I just, wow, the more I think about it, the more I love it, man. I'm just glad I got that 4K box set. But yeah, no, overall, man, I love Minus One. I love everything about this film, and yeah, even minus color. You know, I prefer watching the original colored version, but minus color, man. If you ever get a chance, check it out. It's on Netflix. So yeah, both versions. So yeah, so that is my review for the Reiwa era. Hope you guys if you guys stuck around, thank you guys so much for sticking around, man. Yeah, so I'm all in on the Reiwa era, and all I gotta say is that I'm excited what they got, and yeah. So thank you guys so much. So that was my review for the Reiwa era. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for watching my video. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of the Reiwa era. I would love to know. Please let me know down in the comment section down below. I would love to hear opinions on it. So this is Javi from JAVIWOOD Productions signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Sup fans, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another review, well, franchise review. And since lately we've been celebrating 7 years of Godzilla here, this is the finale of my series. So we're gonna finally cover, well, not finally, we're just gonna quickly cover, because I talked to them to death a couple times already, the Monsterverse. So coming up right now, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, guys, quiet on set. Scene one, take one. Action. Boom. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you share with your friends, and also hit that bell for notifications, because, well, it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new here, welcome, sit down, relax, and enjoy the show. And I would kindly appreciate it if you guys do hit the subscribe button, because I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so let's make that happen, guys. All right, so I'll just quickly do these spoilers ahead. Quickly cover all 5 Monsterverse films. Yeah, I'm going to be including King Kong here, so let's get started. So first things first, we got Godzilla 2014. So around the 1950s, the US government is trying to kill this creature named Godzilla. So Operation Lucky Dragon happens, and of course it succeeds, but they didn't really kill Godzilla. Spoiler alert. So fast forward to the Philippines in 1999, the Mudo hatches. So Monarch, they go and investigate, and one of them hatches, and it goes into Janjira and to a power plant in Japan. And of course, you know, tragedy happens. Fast forward there. So Joe Brody, played by Bryan Cranston, is obsessed to finding the truth of how he knows that it's not an accident. Something legitimately killed. Well, his wife died. Something legitimately killed his wife. Well, his son Ford Brody, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, is he's more distant because he sees him as crazy. So yeah, fast forward to 2014. Yeah. So Aaron Taylor Johnson, well, Ford Brody has his own family, but because it parallels, so he's trying to, you can really tell he's trying to like create a healthy family, unlike his childhood family. So it's just his own father, the relationship with his own father. And well, of course, things happen, they reunite, and then another incident happens where Joe Brody dies. But then later, Ford finds out that, well, because of this, they feel like Monarch feels that Dr. Serizawa, played by Ken Watanabe, one of my favorite actors of all time, says that nature has an order, a power to restore balance. I believe he is that power. So he introduces him to Godzilla, and then, well, Godzilla halfway through the movie shows up, and he does his thing with a couple of teases with him fighting the Mudos, and then, well, at least this awesome climactic battle in San Francisco. So yeah, I mean, I've already talked about this movie before, so I love this one. At first, it was my favorite remake, even though I still prefer the original. This was my favorite remake of a movie, but later, after seeing Godzilla Minus One, that took the title. But I still love this one, even though, yeah, looking back, I understand the criticism, because even though I quite enjoy these criticisms, because I feel like they're a bit more, well, it's a bit more daring and all that stuff, and more risky. I understand, again, people's like criticisms for that. Yeah, the best character, Joe Brody, dies early, which, you know what, I wish they could have kept him alive, or at least like I wish they could have, like, or maybe they're gonna, like, you know, have him inactive, maybe still have him survive at the end of the film, maybe show up at the end, because then again, this was a good opportunity to have a father and son bonding film with them. But, you know, yeah. And yeah, as much as I love the Hawaii tease. I love the Hawaii tease and how they don't show the fight, but I understand, like, yeah, like teasing him, cutting away from the fighting just to lead to the last 30 minutes. I understand that. Yeah, I get that. Gareth does a little too much, and I feel like he's aware of that now, because there was a watch along not too long, like a couple years ago, and he was making fun of the film for, like, oh man, why are they cutting away too much of the fight? So yeah, but overall, I I understand the criticisms, and you know what? I respect that so much. But personally, for me, I love this film. I love the teasing. I love how this movie builds up and all that stuff to a great, satisfying fight. And the cinematography, of course, is great. Gareth Edwards is such a well-directed film. And I enjoy Aaron Taylor Johnson, even though he can be a wooden in many areas. See, I do like when he shows emotion with Bryan Cranston. So I quite like his character and all stuff. It's just a soldier trying to get home, but unfortunately, well, disaster just follows him through like a demon from his past. And I enjoy Elizabeth Olsen as his wife, Elle Brody. I really enjoyed this film. I just love the scale. I love the action in this one, and it just delivers. And of course, Godzilla, man. I love Godzilla. I love this design and all that stuff. So I just love this film, man. I love Godzilla in this film. When he does things, it does it in a majesty way, as I like to call it. So that is just awesome. Kong Skull Island. So it takes place in 1973. So Monarch is trying to, well, of course, you know, just try to see if the Earth, the whole hollow Earth theory. So they go to Skull Island with the help of Packard, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and of course Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson here. So they basically, yeah, they drop bombs, seismic bombs, and well, of course that pisses off Kong, and well, he kills almost everybody. So Packard wants revenge, but then again, I also feel like he's like a soldier that, of course, this is after the Vietnam War. He wanted some kind of redemption for, of course, losing the war. So they find a character played by John C. Reilly who was stuck there since World War II, and well, yeah, they were trying to find a way to get out of Skull Island. Yeah, I gotta say, this is probably my second favorite of the MonsterVerse films. One, King Kong. I love his design. He's so reminiscent of the 1933 Kong, and here he is such personality. He's also a teenager, an adolescent here, or a kid here, so that's really cool. And the skull crawlers he fights are awesome. The action scenes, but this movie gets right away doesn't need to do any teasing. Unlike the first Godzilla, here it gets straight to the action, man. It gets straight to him and all that stuff. And I gotta say, this has the best human cast out of the MonsterVerse, man. Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel Jackson, John C. Reilly, John Goodman. Everybody does a great job here, and it's such a fun movie. And they make jokes, they crack jokes here and there, but it's just done in a way to not distract you from the intense action, you know. And Skull Island itself is such a big character, man. You know, Mommy Long, like the Mother Longlegs scene, and just like these tree branch creatures. I love this. So beautifully shot, really beautifully directed by Jordan Vogt-Roberts, man. And yeah, the acting is really good. The action is good. The climax scene is really good. And of course, the singer, you know, teasing Godzilla, it is really good. I love Kong Skull Island. It's probably my second favorite King Kong film. It's like 33 King Kong, and then it's this one, and then Peter Jackson. So yeah, I love this film. Godzilla King of the Monsters has Emma Russell create the orca. And so they're trying to control these kaiju, but then again, now she's helping these eco-terrorists, Ellen Jonah, played by Charles Dance. Well, so then we got Mark Russell and, of course, Monarch trying to, stop them, but then again, they unleash King Ghidorah, and, well, of course, Godzilla takes nose wind of this. So now it's just Ghidorah and Godzilla fighting for the title of King of the Monsters, of Alpha. But then again, well, unfortunately, Godzilla gets hurt by the oxygen destroyer when he's fighting Ghidorah, and actually pretty much winning. So, but then Ghidorah becomes the new king of the monsters. But then again, they help Godzilla out. He gets an upgrade while Serizawa sacrifice himself, and it leads to this awesome final battle in Boston. And Mothra and Rodan are in it. I've already talked about. I forgot how many times I talked about this film, but I love this film, man. Yeah, this is basically my first YouTube video was me doing a review for this film, and yeah, so overall, man, I still love this film, even though like a lot of the jokes, they're very cringe. The gonorrhea joke is cringe, and I like the human characters, but then again, yeah, it's, you know, yeah, it kind of sometimes, you know, I kind of feel like, all right, they kind of do too many dumb things here and there, but whatever, man. But overall, man, I still think this is such a well-directed film. Michael Dougherty directed this, which when I heard he was announced as a director, I got excited because I'm a huge fan of Michael Dougherty. And man, the cinematography is beautiful. Godzilla, of course, you know, gets this maple leaf dorsal plates, the longer claws, and all that stuff, which is really freaking nice. Mothra, she's awesome. Rodan is awesome. King Ghidorah is awesome. And all of the action scenes are great. Even though it's very obscured by rain and all this fog and all that stuff, still love the action scene, man. So it is just cool. They also kind of call back to the teasing and all stuff for the first one when the Argo is just flying flying in frame during the final fight, which is really funny. But overall, man, I love this movie. This movie's so well paced. Even though it kind of stops for a bit around the end of the second act, I still really dig that part. And of course, when Godzilla wins, he defeats Ghidorah, becomes the Alpha. That is freaking cool. Not much I can say. Yeah, I've already talked about this film to death already, like a couple times. It's, I love this film. Godzilla versus Kong. So Godzilla is doing his own. He's attacking Apex facilities because, of course, they're creating Mechagodzilla, but the public don't know, so they're trying to paint him as a bad guy. Well, they try to use Kong to get inside to discover the Hollow Earth and all that stuff, and it kind of creates a plot hole here and there why you need Kong and all stuff, but whatever. But then, unfortunately, that leads to a collision course between the two of them fighting, Godzilla and King Kong. So yeah, no, again, another entry. I love the MonsterVerse, man. So here, you can kind of tell that this movie's been really very heavily edited and all that stuff, edited down with a couple of stuff because the plot, here's the thing, as much as I think the plot's fine and all that stuff, it's so very thin, and the characters I really enjoy the Kong side, human characters from the Godzilla side, as much as I love their human chemistry, they get too overboard with the humor for me. But this is another entry that I just love, man. So you're not here for plot and characters, you're here for Godzilla and Kong fighting, and Adam Wingard delivers on that, man. So on the aircraft carrier scene, it is it's like a horror film. It's intense and all that stuff, and damn good fight. And the final fight in Hong Kong, it is beautiful, man. You can see everything, the cinematography and score. The score is all right. The cinematography is huge and all that stuff, and you can see everything. The colors are vibrant, and it is so cool. It's such a great fight. And of course, between Mechagodzilla and there's a 2-on-1 fight with the fight with Mechagodzilla. It is damn good, and I love that Mechagodzilla is basically Kevin. Excuse me, one of the heads of Ghidorah. Kevin, he's pretty much in a way being possessed by Kevin. He does that laugh, and then so basically Ghidorah or Kevin and Godzilla kind of have a rematch. So yeah, and also like that part where like Kong just rips the head out and all that stuff. It's also kind of like a what if Kong beat Godzilla with the axe. That's how I kind of saw it. So overall, this is a fast-paced action film. Even though like when you really try to think too hard on it, though, this movie, the plot kind of does fall apart a bit, though, but or by a lot actually, but overall I still love this film. It's very fun, and it's of course fantasy sci-fi stuff, and the Hollow Earth, well, neat. It is very neat. It's awesome, man. I like it, and the cinematography is gorgeous, man. Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. We're finally at the home stretch here. So they get an SO. So basically, like, of course, the Iwi from the Hollow Earth, they send a distress call that something's coming. So Gia gets she finds out about this to telekinesis or telepathically, and so they trying to so Monarch is trying to find what's going on and all that stuff. Well, they also not just that, they also send a distress call to Godzilla too. So after killing Scylla in Rome, Godzilla gets up, and he knows this. He knows that he needs to, upgrade himself. So he's out there, upgrading and basically working out in a way to get ready for this. So because, it's about Shimo and Scar King. So yeah, Godzilla's preparing for war and all that stuff. So that is pretty cool here. Well, Kong, of course, after getting a new tooth and all that stuff, he's trying to find out, his own people, his own race, his own civilization, because he's so lonely and he wants to find his family. So that is really cool, man. But he does come across, Zuko, a little mini Kong right there, and of course, he finds out that he's a little shithead. But after that, they do a little bit of bonding here and there. So then Godzilla Kong discovers his species. Unfortunately, they're all being ruled by the Scar King, and he has his ultimate weapon, Shimo. Man, I think this is when it comes to the Adam Wingard duology as of right now, I think this is the better one, because it feels like, even from the commentary track, they said that a lot of the first draft was brought here, or like this is so close to the first draft. This feels like a complete film compared to the Godzilla vs. Kong, because you can clearly tell not just the reshoots, but you can clearly tell like a lot of story and a lot of pacing, a lot of character development was cut out. Here, you can tell it's a clear vision, and I really respect that. And I wish that the home video release gave us the IMAX version, because I saw this in IMAX. This movie looks gorgeous as hell. But yeah. So Godzilla, he's pretty awesome. Actually, I even enjoy his new evolved form. I quite enjoy it, even though he's a, you know, kind of feels like he does have where he's wearing a corset underneath, or a corset. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, you know, maybe make him a bit chunky next time here in the belly. But overall, I really dig his evolved form. It really reminds me, of course, the Millennium Godzilla, which is really cool. Kong, of course, he steals the show here because it's more of his film, even though the Godzilla gets top billing. I love King Kong here, man. I just love him, man. I just like that at the end of this film, he becomes King Kong, because we all call him Kong, but in a way, this movie kind of still establishes him as him becoming King Kong, which is really nice. And his relationship with Zuko, even Gia, I love his relationship with everybody here, and even his relationship with Godzilla, even though they have that rematch in Egypt. But yeah, but once him and Godzilla team up with the help of Mothra, it's nice to see Mothra here. It leads to an awesome final battle in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and it's like a 2-on-2, man. And it's kind of funny. No, it's actually really funny to see Godzilla struggle fighting Shimo. It's really freaking funny. She's bigger than him, so yeah. But the Scar King, man, he is also cool, man. Here's a big criticism I have with this film, is that I wish we got more of him and more of a build-up for him, because this dude shows up around near the end of the second act, and man, but when he's there though, he is amazing, man. He is oozing with personality, and I wish they didn't kill him off, because he would have been like King Kong's Joker, you know, like how Batman has his Joker, Godzilla has his King Ghidorah, and Kong has his Scar King. Well, you know, they kill him off, which is a nice way to kill him, which is really cool. But I wish he in a way still could have lived, so that, you know, he'll come back and him and Kong will fight. But yeah, and I quite enjoyed the pacing. Even though I feel like even though looking back, I felt like the pacing was a bit too fast, but no, after watching it again, I feel like, you know, the pacing is all right. I just wish we could have got an extra 35 minutes to like explain a couple stuff, like a build up to the Beast Club, which I like the Beast Club, but this introduction, in my opinion, looking back, it was cool, but watching it now, it's so stupid, but I love it. I really freaking love it. But yeah, Kong, man, he's great in this film. The action scenes are great. The score is all right. Junkie XL, you know, yeah, whatever. But overall, man, the direction's great. This movie, again, it's like the previous one. It knows what you're here for. And you know what? It also, I gotta say, before I wrap this up, like not just Godzilla and King Kong, but just in movies in general, when it comes to something like that, I love that it, in a way, kind of breaks through grounds when it comes to like moments of animals just not talking, but acting through their movements and emotions, which is really touching, I gotta say. Mostly with Kong's scenes. So yeah, man, I really dig this one. I think that I like this one. Yeah, of course, I like this one more than Godzilla vs. Kong, because yeah. So that's my overall review of the MonsterVerse, man. Guys, thank you guys so much if you guys stuck around at the end of this video. I enjoyed every single installment, man. I love it, man. It shows everything about the Godzilla franchise all in 5 movies, man, which is really nice. And King Kong, man, I say this is my second favorite King Kong version. So no, man, thank you guys so much for this finale and all that stuff, for this series that I've been doing, and it was fun just looking back at the whole entire Godzilla franchise, man. It's so awesome, man. Really, it's freaking awesome, man. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, man. So what do you guys think of the MonsterVerse? Let me know down in the comment section down below. So this is Javi from Highway Productions signing off, and I hope you guys enjoyed this show. And happy 70th anniversary, Godzilla.